Hello everybody and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Brittany and on this channel we talk all about plants. And as most of you know, yesterday we did get the Walmart Thai Con, such an exciting trip. The last video posted is all about finding that. And today I did want to take a little bit of time, look at these roots, repot this plant, because I've been seeing a lot of people are getting the Walmart Thai and then having it drop leaves, start to die out pretty much immediately. And so we want to prevent that at all costs. So if you are into plants and into keeping your plants alive, stick around and let's talk repotting the Thai Constellation. Okay, so the Monstera Thai Constellation does have a tendency of getting root rot, so that is what the concern here is today. This is similar to the Monstera deliciosa. In its care, it does want its roots to dry out, so adding a really chunky soil mix is going to be your best friend for this plant. So that is what we are going to do today. This is a highly variegated plant. And with that, there are some different care techniques from just the traditional Monstera deliciosa to keep in mind, but we will talk about that on another video, or there's so many videos out there. Go support some really amazing channels that talk about this as well. So if you saw my video yesterday, you saw my struggle with attempting to get this nursery pot out of this decorative pot. I could not get it. And one viewer had commented that you need to get a screwdriver, get down in there. They've had that issue with Walmart plants in the past. And so in my panic, I did do that to get it out. I just popped it back in so that we could see the fit, but it did come out totally fine. So with that being said, I am going to be repotting it into a larger pot. I do know that the holes and the aeration on this pot are going to benefit this more than this pot that it's currently in. Look at that leaf. So there were roots coming out of the bottom of the pot. I'm gonna go ahead and take this out and show you what these roots look like because they're pretty amazing. So I think that you're gonna think they're really cool. I did this last night. I was freaking out. There we go. Okay. And then on the bottom. So this substrate that the Monstera, the Thai Con that is at Walmart is, let me try again. The soil that this is in right now is a pretty dense soil. You can see it's just straight soil. There's no elements of aeration to it. And I do want to get the majority of this off. So I'm going to go ahead and work through this a little bit off camera. I'm just doing a little gentle squeezing of this to kind of break this up. And then I'm going to get a skewer and try and get some of this soil off. And then I think we are going to rinse it as well because this really dense soil mixture is going to cling to the water longer and keep the roots moist longer. And that's not what we're looking for. So we want to get rid of all of this. So give me a second. I'm going to get rid of some of this, show you some of the techniques for doing so, and then we'll get this potted up into a better mix for this plant. Okay, so 3 years later, I got that done. So here is where we are. I worked really hard to get almost all of that soil off of those roots because that soil, like I said, will cling to the roots and will hold in the moisture. So I wanted to get all that done. And it literally took forever. I did use a skewer to kind of like loosen it up, but then I just kind of like gently pulled at it. So let me show you here what we are, put this little guy down, what we are moving from in terms of substrate to. So this is what I've just pulled off of the plant. So you can see that that is really dense. And I was pretty proud of myself because I lost very few roots in the process. 2, this is what we are going to. It's going to be very aerated and chunky. We want the water to flow through and not stick to the roots. So when you're watering, you're letting the water flow through. It's lightning and thundering. You probably hear it. We're worried it's going to start hailing. Flow through the pot with the holes and thoroughly water it, and then let this dry out completely prior to watering it again. So here's what we're gonna do. We've got our pot, our upsized pot. This is a 6-inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add some of this to the bottom, some of this chunky part. And this is also going to add nutrients to the bottom of the roots, just like so. And then we're gonna go ahead and gently place this in here. Couple things that you wanna note. The bottom part of your actual plant, you do not want to be underneath the soil because that can root this bottom chunk. So you wanna kind of keep that up above. And then these aerial roots as well, you can stick them down, but you don't wanna completely bury them because they are aerial. So we're gonna stick that down in here, and then we are just gonna backfill. Yes. All the way up to that point that we were just talking about. There we go. And with this really chunky mix, you do want to make sure that you are patting this in, getting rid of all of the holes so that the water isn't just concentrating in one pocket and that it's being evenly distributed throughout the mix. So making sure that you pat it in, really settle it, even adding a little pressure to the top so that it settles down in. Put this over here so we can talk. So I also was going to tell you, and I'll show you as well, today I did get a couple of garden starts. I am a teacher at a high school, and the middle school that's associated with the high school, the special education department does seed starts with their students every year. So they actually start them, care for them, and then they do put them for sale. And so I got 2 tomato plants was what I requested. One is a beefsteak tomato plant and the other being a cherry tomato plant. And then I also got, this is new this year, a marigold starter. So I will show you guys those here in a minute. And I got all 3 starters, and they're beautiful, like I said, for only $5. So I'm pretty excited. We're in Wyoming. The poor weather lasts a long time. So we have not started our garden yet. As soon as it gets warm and it stops snowing, that is when we get our hail. So hence the storm that's happening out there right now. There we go. So we got that all the way filled, and I'm just gonna add that in like Tanner. And put this just a little bit more over here. There we go. And you know, now that I have this in here, this does need a little bit of a stake. It's a little bit floppy. So I'm gonna go grab one of my little clear stakes just so, stay. Here we go. So I've got this stake, and I'll put it back behind here, right down in there carefully so as to not break any of the root system. And then I've just got these little clippies that I'm gonna add to a couple there. Alrighty, that is that for today. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm going to water this in and then we'll just let this get acclimated to its new pot. I think it's going to be really happy, and cross our fingers we do not have the dreaded Walmart Thai Con kill situation that a lot of people have been having. So if you have gotten one, really think about taking a look at those roots and the substrate that it is in. Do a little research, see what is going to work for you. And I hope that this video was helpful to you. Let me show you those vegetable plants that I got from my students. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Please make sure to like and to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all next time. Okay, here are those plants. I think that this is the beefsteak. Here's the little marigolds, and then the cherry tomato, and then the puppy Penny.